Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Alkcast. Today, I am joined here by Logan, otherwise known as FunkleLogan. Now, as we start off every episode, Logan, let's start off with the story of how we met each other here.
Hello. Thanks for having me, first of all.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
I'm trying to think, as far as how we met each other. I mean, I think I met you primarily through Vibe Crew, correct?
I'd imagine so.
I think that's how it happened. You messaged me and you said, "Hey, we're doing this thing, and it'd be cool if we could do some more things with it." And I said, "That sounds great. That's my job, is to enable people to do things."
Yeah.
And here we are.
So that was the first thing you said to me, and then after that, it went just kind of like random DMs there. You then followed me on Twitch when I was doing casting for Vibe Crew, and then from there, you've gone to here, and I see the chat's already becoming active. Boogie, that's not. I'm refunding you if you redeem Head Out right now, and I know Motley can, but
What is Head Out?
Head Out.
I have a very that.
So, I already told her this. I'm not leaving the stream early with a podcast episode with Logan while I'm recording. Boogie, no. I'm not ending the stream.
Oh, it ends the stream early? Oh, that's hilarious.
It's 5 minutes. I've been hyping this up for I know the rules. Yes, I know the rules. I disregarded the rules. All right. See, my stream, my show, my rules. All right. God. Well, what an explosive start to this. Yeah. So. Let's...
I love that someone just has like 100,000 points ready to burn.
Yeah.
You know?
She's in all my streams. So.
And you know what? I respect that she's been holding on those points, and she's like, this is the moment.
Totally hasn't redeemed.
This is the time.
Totally hasn't redeemed it like 4 times over, and just used it for and just refunded it. But yeah. So first question. Now that we can actually get on track here, how did you initially get into the SAR community per se? Like how did that all happen? I guess.
So this would have been back in, I think, 2018 now. So at the time, I was working freelance. I was a freelance social media and community manager. And I primarily worked in tabletop with different projects. So I basically hopped from company to company, help them promote their game and get their Kickstarter and get it out the door. And then typically I'd find like a new client with something that, had like something set up. And, sometimes if someone had multiple ones lined up, I'd stick with them for a while. And at the time, my friend and I had been playing a lot of PUBG. And because I've always liked indie games, I've been following that subreddit. And one day I just saw Bob post a ad about, hey, we're looking for testers for our top-down battle royale. I was like, oh, this sounds fun. So I dragged my friend into it, and we played on the very last day of the alpha. And I think that test lasted for like an hour and a half. And immediately afterwards, I sent Clog a message. And I said, hey, do y'all need a freelance community manager? And he's like, I don't know, you have to ask Michael about that. Sure enough, just asked Michael, and here we are.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. I think we set me up as a community manager like right after that test, honestly. I remember like getting like my feet on the ground with like the beta tests, and if you look back in our social post history, you'll see like various posts and advertisements for like, hey, we're doing a squads test this weekend, or we're doing a duos test, etc., etc. I remember the super monkey was the first animal I got to tease.
I thought, honestly, because I haven't played SAR for that long, I think actually, never mind. I played back in I played in the open beta of the game. That's when I initially got in. So I didn't even know there was an alpha testers available for that. But then again, I didn't have a clue what I was doing back then, so I can't really say anything for that. But no,
it was like extremely under the radar at the time, as are like most indie games as they're getting their alpha testing done.
Yeah, obviously.
It was more or less like seeing like the right thing at the right time.
That definitely seems like how it is. I guess the same thing happened for me, somehow, some way. So
yeah.
So just transitioning to that, what's it like? Kind of the whole community manager deal, and seeing I didn't even know you had experience in other games, honestly. But
yeah, so I've been a community manager for about five, four, 4 years, somewhere around there. And previously, I used to do a lot of temporary like help work at different trade shows and conventions for tabletop companies because they would always need someone to like work their booths and sell product or show off their games and demo it to people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've been doing that since I was right out of high school. So that would put it at around 8 years, give or take, working in the kind of community side of gaming. Um,
Okay.
Pretty much just jump straight into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, how would I describe my work? I would say it is incredibly rewarding in a way that not a lot of careers and professions can honestly say theirs is as rewarding as. But with that comes it's all sorts of like, challenges that are certainly unlike any other.
Yeah.
But it's great to be able to, build up like this community for this game, right? And see how people interact with this community, become a part of it and make their own and the kind of experiences they have from there that stick with them, for potentially the rest of their life, right? How many
Yeah.
of us have friends that we've known from like previous games and communities we've been a part of that are just, like family?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like having that experience is definitely. I mean, I can't really say much about having a whole family game or a game that's felt like family. SAR's kind of been getting there, I think, definitely for me personally. But I see where you're coming from. That's very nice. But now I think I'm just gonna skip down to this question on my list because I think everyone here wants to know it. Would you ever get a fursuit of your boar character that you have?
I would not, solely for the reason that
No
I
mascot,
will
right?
go on the record to say I'm not a furry. So
All right, there
I
we go. I knew the community would want this question overall, and also because it's kind of been in the back of my mind a little bit when I thought of it. Because I think, well, you could just play it off as a mascot and like branding, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, like there are like the like line between mascot and fursuits are, kind of thin in some cases.
Incredibly thin.
Uh there so our Chinese publisher does actually have a mascot suit of the Super Fox that they've used for their own shows. And I've looked at that every single time and I'm like, I'd rock that. If I had something like that of my boar that was more like chibi-ish in nature, I'd wear it, but that still ultimately wouldn't change that, I'm not a
I
furry,
mean,
so I wouldn't call it a fursuit. And
when you just call it mascot instead.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, but no, I love the furry community. It's just there is a point in which like
Like I
you see
said,
so much like furry art and all that. At which point you would like be like, I know I'm a furry, or I know I'm not, and
I
I'm
know exactly
definitely
what
in
you're
the
talking about. Yeah.
the latter.
Yeah.
But very very welcoming and nice community, like unlike any other that I've seen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for another question, more about hobbies. How did you become a Taco Bell enthusiast? That is something I've always thought about. How have you been able to get invested into Taco Bell, especially with that that four things of fries next to that light that you have that you celebrated?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't actually know how my Taco Bell addiction slash fanaticism started.
So it can be called an addiction. You're saying?
Yeah, I would say it's an addiction. Uh, um, man, I think this must have been probably around the time that I started at Pixel that I like just kind of discovered how great Taco Bell was. Because growing up, when we went to Taco Bell, it would just get like the party pack with all the tacos, and you'd eat it, and you go like, "Hey, it's not a real taco."
Obviously.
And it wasn't until like I started like working from home, and like I'm like, "Oh, hey, I can like get things delivered to my door." So I'm like, I'm gonna try this cool burrito business, and then from there, you know, I am directly associated with Taco Bell to many people now.
Yep. Can't wait for that to be a Taco Bell item in the game. Would be a great
I
collaborative project.
It would be fantastic. I okay, so it's like really bad how bad this like addiction has gone. So there was a point in which I recognized in Taco Bell's social media habits that they changed hands to have a new social media manager,
Oh,
and they were figuring out how to interact as a brand with people. And every day for 7 days straight up to the return of like the nacho fry, they would retweet people that tweeted them about Taco Bell. So I tried every single day, down to the minute that I knew they were getting ready to retweet to get their attention.
is,
And it
is,
never worked.
so that's the kind of power you have as a social media manager. You just know when people switch. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna jump right on top of this and take advantage of it.
I was gonna say, there's that is a nice set of skills that I have that not everyone else would be able to do is recognize, hey, there's a new person, I see what they're doing, what's building up to, and I know at what time this is happening, so I can try to use that to my advantage. I did not get retweeted by Taco Bell though.
I'm
I tried very damn hard though.
I'm very impressed by that. That you actually went as far as to do that. Oh,
I had reminders on my phone.
oh my! This is serious.
Yeah, it wasn't just one. It was multiples.
This is some. I respect the dedication. To be perfectly honest, like I respect that 100%.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh
I am,
my.
people think it's a joke, but to me, there's nothing joking
It
about it.
really is not a joke. Can't wait. Can't
It's
wait.
all business.
Can't wait to take you on a Taco Bell date or something. Maybe.
Ah.
I really think that'd be the epitome of romance. Taking Logan on a Taco Bell date. Right,
Oh,
chat? Yeah. Absolutely perfect. But anyways, on to our next question here. Let's go back to Taco Bell. Favorite thing on that menu. Favorite thing on the Taco Bell menu. If you've had it for like
I have always been a quesarito fan. It's just, a quesadilla and a burrito. It's fantastic.
yeah, I know.
You can't get it through the drive-through anymore at most locations. You have to order through their app. But, I'm willing to put in that little bit extra work for my quesarito.
Put in the effort, yes. I mean you've already put in a lot of effort to Taco Bell, so I wouldn't imagine this is too much for you to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of routine habit.
Routine
At a
habit.
certain point, you stop thinking about it. You just accept it for what it is.
Yeah. Apparently you're from Boogie now. The grilled cheese burrito is the exact same with a few changes. So there's that too. I guess.
Okay, so I think the grilled cheese burrito is probably the last thing I'd recommend on their menu. Only because it's similar. It's a burrito, but it has an outer layer of cheese. And it's just very greasy, and it makes you feel bad.
Hmm.
And that's not. I don't like to feel bad about my Taco Bell. I like to eat and go, amazing. I feel wonderful. I feel like I can tackle the day.
Yeah.
But the grilled cheese burrito does not make me feel that way.
So I can see where you're coming from with that for sure. But on to our next question here. So, how'd you get your star character? I know we already asked the question of if you get a first of it, but how'd you initially come up with it?
So, interestingly enough, back when I joined the team, one of the very first questions Michael asked me is, "Hey, what's your favorite animal? You can be, we'll set you up with like a profile picture and things like that." And I was like, "I really like raccoons." And then Michael said, "No, Jake's the raccoon. You can't do that." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know then.
Oh.
I'll just do like I'll think about it." And for a few days, I thought about it. And originally, I was going to like my super animal like identity was going to be the super songbird, right? Because I'm the community manager and I tweet, and it'd be funny because birds tweet, ha.
I see you.
But I used the super line up until that point, and that's where I developed the like outfit for the board, the vacation shirt, the visor, and the black round glasses. And then the Lunar New Year update happened, which was the very first update for Super Animal Morale. And in that update were pigs and boars, and the super boar was the very first super animal that Finder actually animated. Previously, we had another artist that did that beforehand. And I was like, this is so cool. I love the boar design. This is awesome. I just started using it for a little bit. And then I got like one piece of fan art, then another. and then another as the boar, and then I just kind of got stuck with it. And I've been the boar ever since.
Oh yeah, I like that's mainly it. Like a fan art kind of thing to push you into it. That's
Yeah. The plan was still to be the songbird even when I was the boar, but then when that update finally came around in I think April, so that would have been a couple months afterwards, I was kind of like, you know, I like the boar. No one else plays it. I'll stick with it.
Yeah, that is true. You don't see too many boars in SAR anymore.
Nope, never have. We've
Yeah,
always been the few and mighty.
I'll make sure to run boar for you for a few days after this. Just for you after this.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So let's get into another question here. What would be your favorite game that you think that you've ever played? Like in the history of your life, what's your favorite game?
Ugh. I have a couple of those. Let me think. I guess so. My favorite game. Okay, so I guess I have a question. Do you want my favorite game that I've enjoyed, or do you want my favorite game that has like influenced me in everything I've done?
I'd say the first one. Favorite game you've enjoyed.
Favorite game I've enjoyed. So there was this game made by Platinum Games back in I think 2013, 2012, somewhere around there, and it was called Anarchy Reigns. So Platinum Games, they develop things like Bayonetta, Vanquish, Mad World, etc. And this was their like 3D arena fighting game, beat 'em up. Uh, and it just had like a very like eccentric and weird like aesthetic to it that I enjoyed. It was like heavy metal mixed with like cyberpunk, mixed with like post-apocalyptic, settings.
God, that is
It was wild.
that sounds like an incredible aesthetic to go off of. Like,
They had like a soundtrack that was just full of like underground rap music too, to top it all off. And you'd wander around this map and you would, fight with other characters. Like the main character Jack from Mad World, he had a chainsaw for his hand. There was like a guy in a giant Iron Bull costume. You had all sorts of things. And the favorite part about this, and I guess this actually does kind of like, tap into why I like battle royales and multiplayer games so much, is in the middle of the match, there would be like random events that would happen. So in these matches, you would have like probably 12 other players all playing a fighting game against each other at the same time. So there would be things like, uh, how do you snipe someone right before like a fight is ended? How do you pick off people? How do you use different environments of vehicles to your advantage? And then all of a sudden it'd be like, also, by the way, half the map is just going to disappear now. So enjoy getting cramped up in this space and fighting one another. It was just a really good time, and I played that for a long, long time. Put too many hours into it. And I think about it every single day.
very, 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 very cool. On the topic of like aesthetics now, what do you think your favorite aesthetic in SAR would be? Kind of like combo of outfits, characters, like all that even.
So, okay. I would have told you probably like I really like the direction of the steampunk items.
However shocking.
But nowadays, anything that can be combined into like a dad-like outfit, that's what I strive for. I love like the water cooler like gravestone with the health juice bottles in it, like the fishing rods, anything like that. Button-up shirts, that's what I like now.
Trying to become the ultimate dad, I see. All right. Very, very cool. Yes. I'm also taking notes with this. Thank you, Sonny, and I'm just waiting for the announcement to happen, obviously. But yeah. Anyways, with the steampunk stuff now, where'd you get the steampunk gnome from? I know it's not as talked about, but
Okay. So this is a weird one. Back in high school, so when I first started gaming, I shared a PlayStation with my dad. So we shared the same online handle. And then eventually I decided to make my own and stick with it. And I could not tell you for the life of me what made me decide on steampunk gnome. Because truthfully, like gnomes, I was never really a huge fan of them. And steampunk wasn't honestly even like my favorite aesthetic at the time. And it still isn't. But it was my name. And I stuck with it, and then eventually, a couple years later, um, back when I was thinking about the idea of Twitch, this was like even before community management. I had a friend that I commissioned to do art of a steampunk gnome. Uh, and I wish I still had the piece. I could probably find it if I looked hard enough. I don't know if it'd be safe for stream since there is a cigar in it. But it was like this little like gnome with a white beard and a brown top hat slash gnome cap riding on like a high powered like unicycle, and he had like a sprocket and spanner in both his hands. Uh, and then eventually, that turned into the gnome that I use for all my branding now, which is the one with the orange beard, and he's kind of got the gray overalls and the green overalls and the gray undershirt. And it's a little bit more inspired by Mario, and that was updated by Buff Pup.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I just kind of went to her and I was like, hey, like, I feel like I need an avatar for, like, you know, if I'm using Steampunk Gnome as a name, so could you possibly update this? She went, yeah, sure. Do you have any ideas? And I said, nope. And that's what she came up with.
No, just pretty much all I want. Steampunk, no. Do what you want.
Yep. And, and correction, with, like, the design that I had, it wasn't bad. I liked it a lot. It's just, I wanted something that was a little bit more, I guess, universal. So that's where the overalls and the kind of the, Mario like vibes from it got integrated into the concept. And then of course like the cigar was like dropped since I don't even smoke regularly. So
yeah, I don't show anything from the podcast, but if you obviously want to send it over, your choice. But nah.
Let me see.
There's that, but in the meantime, while you're asking that, which, by the way, chat, we are going to get into chat questions like a little bit after this at 6:30 p.m. PST in 4 minutes, so have them ready, to say at least. I know some of you guys put it in my own Discord server. Better than the old questions, at least. But, yeah, so let's go on to another question. Howard the Duck, how did you become an enthusiast of him, necessarily?
So I grew up with an extremely geeky father. When he was growing up, he read comic books, he played D&D, he did all sorts of things with Game Workshop / Warhammer 40K, etc. So I grew up in a lot of that. And, eventually comic books became part of that. And he's like, hey, let's go to a comic book store and, like, pick something out that you can read. So I went there and, the world is my oyster. I could pick anything. I could pick Spider-Man, I could pick Batman, I could pick Superman, I could pick Iron Man, whatever I wanted at the time. And for some reason, little old me found this giant omnibus of Howard the Duck by Steve Gerber. And I went to my dad and I was like, I want to read this. And I like to imagine he was very disappointed on that day.
It's like, out of all the characters, you gotta pick the one that is anthropomorphic.
It's like, it's not even that. It's just the fact that Howard the Duck was like, he was a Donald Duck parody. And he was very questionably a good one. So,
He just had question your taste?
I think I would question my taste at that point, right? Like, Howard the Duck has grown into himself a little bit more over time, but there was like this, like, I don't know, 20-year period where no one could figure out what he was going to be. And most Howard the Duck, like, concepts, like, he parodies and makes fun of a lot of things, which means you have to have, like, a higher understanding of, like, the topics being parodied.
Gotta know the lore.
Yeah, it's not the same as, like, Spider-Man, like, goes and punches this man in a vulture suit. It's more or less like, hey, Howard the Duck tackles redneck culture in this issue. And if you don't have an understanding of that, you're going to get pretty lost.
Very different, it seems.
Yes. So it's, I would say I'm definitely more of a fan now than I am back then because I understand those concepts a little bit better. But, I stick with it. And, like, to me, as much as I love, like, all comics, and, I love all Marvel things in particular, I would never want to collect every single Spider-Man thing. That is, like, too much effort. However, every single Howard the Duck thing, I can do that. And I have. I have a very small Howard the Duck shrine.
Shrine. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a shrine. I call it the Howard the Duck shrine only because it's basically a bookshelf of nothing but Howard the Duck comics and various memorabilia on. Let me see if I can go ahead and find that one for you, since I know I've taken that recently. But yeah, it more or less just kind of happened. It wasn't intentional.
It was just kind of, hey, I like this duck. Oh look, I now have all of the duck's merch. Like,
yes, basically. And it's gotten worse in recent years, especially now that I have like disposable income I can just drop on that.
Yep.
But it's my thing. It's a thing I do and I collect now.
Yeah. So, just gonna ask this one last question before we get into the chat interactive ones. I doubt you care about the Super Bowl, but who do you think's gonna win? This is important. We live in the nice state of USA. We gotta care about football. Not really.
So after the disclosing that I grew up with all things geeky and nerdy, that did not include anything sports related.
Yeah.
So my answer is if it's not the Packers, I don't care.
All right, cool. Yeah. It's not. It's Cincinnati Rams and Los Angeles Rams.
I grew up with a lot of family in Wisconsin, so my expectation of football is if the Packers are playing, you root for the Packers. If the Packers aren't playing, you sit it out.
Basically, Packers or nothing. Very, very cool commitment. But now we're gonna be getting into those podcast questions. So far we only have one that I can actually use for a question in the channel points. Channel point redeems 100 channel points for a question. You get 3 of them with 1 follow. And yeah, the first one is, when is the new walking game mode variant, The Weevil Dead, with Ashley J. Billiams going to come out? Also, hashtag Team Mini Emo from Boogie.
What is a weevil?
Well, part of me wants to say a gun from Black Ops 3 that was like a P90. It's probably an animal. I don't know. Alk has an entire section of this. Yes. No. Boogie, I've answered most of those questions, and most of them I can't use. I've gotten like 2 new ones.
Do you mean like the bug? Like there's a little tiny bug called a weevil? Is it a weevil? Yeah.
You know the one.
You know the one?
Boogie, which, okay, did you put it in already? Okay. Oh, yes, so Boogie, of course, really, really wanted to know this. Have you read The Infinity Maids yet?
I have never heard of this either.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. It's in my Discord server. I can choose you an invite after this. It's very long, to say the least. You have to read it yourself to really find out what it is. So.
I'm guessing it involves a lot of maids, huh?
Yes, that is indeed.
Hence the title, Infinity Maids. Okay, that makes sense. That checks out.
Very, very true. A lot of lore, a lot of fan. Well, not too much fan art, but there is fan art. So.
Okay.
The
Infinity Maids.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it started out as a joke between me and Blue Jay Z, and then from there it evolved into just a massive thing, like a massive story with an overarching storyline. So,
just like maid dresses, they're contagious.
Yeah, I guess so. But we got some more questions, podcast questions. This one's from Waffle and Jester. Many animal breed variants when? Whoa.
I don't know. That's a very technical question that it always depends. When people ask technical things, in general, I am probably the last person you ever want to ask, unless like if I can give you an answer like, maybe eventually, that's kind of the best I got, because I never want to speak for how difficult that'll be for Finder Clog or someone, but we are aware that people would like different breeds, and maybe that's something we could look at doing in the future.
Cool. Next question coming up from Motley. What would you say is the funniest / most ridiculous moderation thing that you had to take care of? I like this
Ooh,
question.
that's a good one.
I like this. This is good.
I'm trying to think.
Funny thing is, it even comes from one of my mods. Even better.
What's the funniest / most ridiculous moderator thing that I've had to take care of?
Is it pinning the message in SAR General saying that I committed war crimes? Is it that one or?
That's I would qualify that as more community management than moderation, but I guess moderation does fall under that too.
Yeah. Hey, AJ.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of like really like funny stories I've had with moderation, and most of them on the surface level are not funny. Most of them end up being situations you're like, wow, that's like a really strange thing that happened.
I feel where you're coming from a lot.
Yeah. I'll have to think about that one and get back to it to see if I have a really good story that I could like share.
Okay. All right. Now we got a question coming in from Zenny here. When the album dropping? This is an inside joke on me because I announced one time that I play in a band and said don't ask for the album. Now they don't stop asking. But now I'm going to flip that question onto you because it's here. So when's the album coming, Logan? I think we'd all like to know.
As soon as Jake takes the time to, set aside some time so we can record our hot mixtape together. That's my answer for that one.
Funny thing is, Jay's even in the chat right now. He just came into stream too. Well, welcome in, Jay. Great timing. So, yeah. I mean, hey, I'd be down for it. I'd listen to it a few times. Probably. If you need someone to play some lackluster power chords, I do have a guitar.
You would never want to hear me do music of any kind. I have no sense of rhythm. It's actually horrible. So I remember back, in the day when you were forced to take like music classes as part of your curriculum to like broaden your experiences and your horizons as a kid to be like, hey, maybe you really like music and that's something you should pursue. We used to do like various rhythm games, and I remember always losing at them and being the first one out. And that's when I decided, hey, maybe music's not for me.
I'm not a composer, yeah. But thank you, Boogie. I appreciate that so much. Wow.
So nice. It's very good to have such supportive friends.
Yeah, that's just my mod team for you. They're always pulling the stuff, It's the struggling life of the sad little AlkalineMix. Yeah. Otherwise, since we don't have any more chat questions, actually I think I have like 2 more, if I correct. But yeah, if you want to keep asking, go right ahead. Never mind, they're the exact same thing. It was just when will Alk release the album and when is the mini emu coming, which I guess is a new question. So
maybe when super emus get added.
Okay. Hey, good point. It is just regular emu right now, not quite super. So the super, is that basically just a word that you switch out for anthropomorphic in this case?
No, super, like super animal, because we have giant emus, and then we got.
Good point.
You got your giant animals, you got your super animals, and then you got your mini animals. It's like a little scale.
Right.
And when Enma came up with this thing about the mini emus. I think it was Enma. No. I can't remember where it started, but there's a handful of people that really want like a mini emu, and it's baffling to me because we don't even have a super emu. You can't play as an emu yet people want them as pets.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. Emus always be the homies. Right?
Yeah, but like I brought it up and I was like, hey, why don't you ask for like super emus first? And they went, no. No, only mini emus.
We just want them to be small. That's it. So yeah, now
it was the most confusing and out of like left field like experience I had. Because I just left a bunch of people in a room together and I come back and they're just like, hey, mini emus won.
I mean, hey, it works, I guess. It is one way to get ideas. You just leave a place for like 5 minutes and then they'll just start bombarding with stuff.
It's true. This is very true.
Yeah. But let's go back to the chat questions now. The chat keeps scrolling. I need to read this app. As you are in charge for the community, ideally, any idea on how many total downloads Super Animal Royale has, as it had 5 million before? I'm actually interested by that.
Let me see. So, I do believe the downloads might actually be higher than like the celebrations and numbers we've shared before. Only because I think the way that it's tracked is it's basically the people that download the game and played it once at least, right? Because the very first time you boot up the game, your account is then created. If you have it just downloaded and you never touch it, that means that it has not been created. So, total number wise, what did we tweet out recently? That was a little bit ago. Let me see if I can find that number. But yeah, I think that's how the total number works for how many users have been created. So in theory, the game could have been downloaded probably a lot more than it's been booted up. Since I don't know about everyone else here, but I have tons of games that I just download and then never get around to.
Oh yeah,
Let's see.
If you're talking about, but got another question coming in from Boogie. You release new animals for every Lunar New Year to match this year. Yes? So that means there has to be Super Dragon of some kind eventually, correct?
Potentially? Unless we have like a workaround to that.
I mean, I think dragons definitely can be there, you know. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe we just like make a bunch of dragon fruit breeds and call it a day. Who knows?
A bunch of yeah, obviously. Just have
it's like, close enough, right?
Yeah, dragon fruit, same thing.
Oh, yeah, it has dragon in the name.
Yeah, that's all that.
Besides, dragons probably aren't as edible as dragon fruit.
Probably not. I'd hope not. I don't know what dragons you're seeing, but if they are edible, I have concern for you, but I also am curious. So.
Yeah, it'd be pretty neat.
Yeah. But I like how the response to that is just lame.
I'd like boogies to the woogies. It'd be hilarious if you had like you're the super dragon, have a skin for the capybara.
Absolutely, we got even.
That would be great.
Gotta have more.
One of these days. Like, if I wasn't worried about like blowback, I would totally put that idea forward. That like one of these days we should just be like, hey, dragons are coming. Just kidding. It's more like super hippos.
So hey, we making dragons? Not really. Dragons more like dragon these no.
Man, I wonder if I could ever get away with a tweet about that.
Probably can't. Dragons. You probably can't, but I would be interested to see it.
I don't know. It depends. Maybe. We'll see. We'll find out.
I'm happy.
It's definitely going to be on my mind if that ever happens. So.
If you don't tell Clog first, you can't. Boogie.
Oh,
no.
What do you mean? Clog's the one that enables me.
Oh.
Clog would never not encourage me to be my best self.
Oh my, yeah. Just lose.
Logan loses his job, worth it? Listen, if I lost, I guess in theory, especially if you're working with like higher level brands, like a D's Nuts joke would definitely get you fired.
Oh, absolutely. But we can just do a little bit of testing the waters, maybe. Probably not, but
Yeah,
maybe.
Just think of the engagement.
Yeah, like bro, numbers would just be skyrocketing right through the roof. Clearly.
They would absolutely.
Yeah, Logan lost. They'd probably not.
If Logan lost his job, there'd be no more Taco Bell enthusiasts. I hope that like my legacy would carry on with everyone else.
Do you hope to start a Taco Bell religion, maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Praise Taco Bell.
All right. I got another question here from Boogie. If you were on an island with Rot, how long before you eat him?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would, only because I think Rot would be considered spoiled meat. Probably. Right?
Realistically, yes.
And I feel like that only like speeds up my suffering,
Yeah.
It's a very pragmatic approach to it, but
Yeah. I mean, hey, last ditch effort, you know?
yeah.
Anyways, another question coming in from Motley now. If it's Wednesday, April 11th, 1979, and the bus to Chicago is running 20 minutes late, and the sun is shining down at a 63-degree angle at 6:03 p.m., how much wood could Woodchuck chuck?
At least 6.
Good answer. Very good answer. Thanks, Jay. Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. All right, another question coming in from Emma here. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is the deal for the 8 Taco Bell, 1 Bell, 1 PB, and 1 Mayo still up, Logan? What is this deal?
Rates have gone up. That was the deal for mini emus. Since somewhere along there too, we also got in discussion about how Jake Boutino from Pixel, how much he loves peanut butter. And somewhere in there my love of mayonnaise came up. So we threw in some jars.
So together you'd make the ultimate peanut butter and mayo sandwich, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. That
Okay.
sounds disgusting.
Yes, it does. I was gonna say something about that. That sounds absolutely disgusting, but you seem to have taken care of it.
Yeah, no, I got you. See, I'm the kind of person I would look at a food and be like, that's disgusting. And then you'd see me immediately take a bite out of it.
Very cool.
That's just the way I am.
You got a picture of this, too, apparently?
Oh, yeah. Enma made a picture of it.
Wow. Dedicated to the bit. I do appreciate this.
100% dedicated to the bit.
I love the dedication we're seeing tonight. First you with trying to get on Taco Bell social media. Now this. One, you have that many channel points. Two, we're not playing so hard.
But if you were, you'd have to use the controller.
I'll do it next stream. I'm fine with that.
It just popped up for me and I wanted to click it.
Cool. Right, but another quote-unquote question from Boogie. This is more of a dare, if anything. Quote, say a swear.
Butts.
There we go. Are you satisfied, Boogie? Alright. I don't think I need to answer that question, but do you think you could be an 8-foot robot in a fight? Yeah, I'm not going to explain this.
Let me see. Let me think. 8 foot.
It's only got like 2 feet on me. I don't know how much it has on you, but
a lot. Cool. I'm 5'5", so that's pretty substantial.
Dunkable material, I see. Okay, very cool.
I guess it depends. Well, that would require it to be explained more. You know what? I would say I'm crafty enough that like 1 8-foot robot. Yeah.
So Logan is a mini boar.
Logan is a mini boar. I am a short man. Ironically enough, the gnome thing like came from my high school days where I didn't know that I would be 5'5" for the rest of my life. I was basically promised a growth spurt that never came.
Wow, that is very sad. I can't say the same for myself. Sitting at a solid 6'1", but you know, yeah.
I'm small. I have to use stools in my apartment.
That's gotta be pain.
No, I have a stool in every single room.
Just have it on the ready.
Yes, absolutely. If I need to reach somewhere high, and I know that I used it enough, I'm just like, you know what? I'll just go and buy a $5 stool and keep it at the ready.
You just gotta get like one of those like grabber things. You can just like grab stuff from afar and just take it with that. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I have one of those too. And when combined, I'm basically a full tall person. So.
Guess so. Yeah. And also, Motley, why did you request change game? I'm not playing a game. Anyways. Yeah. Another question coming in back from the list again. What's your favorite time of the year in SAR? Like, favorite kind of event, we're thinking. Like.
That's a tough one. I think the answer for me Time of the year / event for SAR. I really enjoy the summer event. Just because, that summer, it kind of opens up a little bit more creativity in terms of, what kind of cosmetics we can do and what animals being introduced. It's not so predictable, whereas, with Halloween and Christmas, you're expecting certain things. Yeah. But I do also really enjoy Christmas ever since we came up with, our own unique take on it. Right. But Halloween is also really fun because it's Halloween. Everyone loves spooky things.
It's Halloween. You can never go wrong with Halloween, basically.
I would probably say Halloween then, only because by the time Christmas is rolled around, doing 2 back-to-back events, at least back-end production-wise, combined with marketing and socials and all that, we're pretty swamped by the end of that.
So life.
Yep.
Yeah, it's there. But Molly, if you have enough channel points, you can redeem 1,084 of those. Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, she has a lot of channel points, but whoever was in charge of the rap, I personally am buying them a soda.
I believe that was Jake's idea. Jake Boudinot.
All right.
He at least did the sound effects for it, and then Finder did the animation, of course.
Who's the one actually behind the rapping part? Who was the one spitting bars?
Oh yeah, that was Jake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Doing it all himself, I see. Very, very cool.
Are all the animal voices are either... So we have a couple voice actors for some SAR Tonight roles, like Rabita Smith. I don't know if we have anyone else. And then it's a combination of Jake for more in-game sounds, Ruben for all the SAR Tonight characters. And then occasionally Jake's wife and then Ruben's wife will do certain roles and parts too.
Very, very cool. Getting the whole family involved, I see.
Yeah.
Good concept. I like it. And hey, if you ever need me, I'm here. I don't think you are at any point in time, but you're my DMs are always open.
Absolutely. We did one community type role casting before, and that was for the Rebel March song. If you listen to that, or if you even go to our YouTube, there is a credit of everyone that lent their voices to that we reached out to. And that included things like Shia, Rot. It's been so long. Yeah. But yeah.
Very, very cool. Now, we've got another question from Boogie here. I assume it's supposed to be, how close are Howl and Donk? BFFs? Hate each other off camera? Boyfriends?
You would have to ask Ruben about that one. Ruben is the one who pens all of the story for SAR. And he also writes the scripts for SAR Tonight as well as directs them. To my knowledge, I believe they're best friends. But I don't know if that's a working best friends thing or an actual best friends thing. But if you think about it, they went on vacation together. And you don't really go on vacation with just your work best friends,
I mean, maybe unless you're plotting something, you wouldn't. But
Well, it's not a vacation. It's basically working with extra steps,
Guess so. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I'll take your advice. So, Donk straight up left Howl to die, though. I mean, you do that with your homie sometimes,
When did he do that?
I don't know.
I think that's more, it speaks to Donk's character as a super animal rather than the magnitude of their friendship. In the plane with the rebels? Oh, yeah.
You have the SAR lore on lock, Boogie. I'm very impressed by this.
I mean, Donk's got to look out for himself.
Yeah, it's all about him, obviously. And this is why maybe just attach him as a backpack, but I don't think Hal would work as that good of a backpack. Maybe. I don't know.
Considering they're the same size, probably not.
I mean,
that'd be a little cumbersome.
It's possible. Just link arms and just send it. So,
It's true, but that has risks with it. And maybe Donk doesn't like to take risks when it comes to survival.
Come on, we got to get him in the skate scene then. We got to get him that skateboard training to get him to take risks. It's like the worst way to build confidence, and it's not actually. You should try it. I know a guy. That guy is me. Yeah. But anyways, next question: hamburger or hot dog? This is important.
It varies, right? So you can have
Right.
I'm not as big on hamburgers because that implies that it's not a cheeseburger. And I like cheese, so I would probably leave that and probably say hot dog in that case.
Okay. I honestly thought you were gonna answer with taco for Taco Bell, but very cool.
Well, if we throw tacos into the mix, then both of them can, may as well not exist.
What, taco hot dogs more? Shell of a taco with a hot dog inside. Put some hamburger meat on it. Maybe.
Ooh. I think the hot dog ruins that. The hamburger meat in it, that would be so bad.
Yeah.
Hot dog though, eh.
All right. But another question coming in from Boogie here. What's your favorite animal pun name suggestion you've heard? Mine is Dwayne the Block Johnson and Tupac.
I really, really like both of those. Dwayne the Puck Johnson is really good. Tupac is also good. Let me think. Okay. So I'm gonna cheat because it's my own creation that is yet to be added. I really like Mariah Canary.
Ooh. All right. Fan of All I Want for Christmas IU is I see.
Yes, exactly. So when we had the what song was it? Or the fan art contest, the Christmas themed one. It was themed All I Want for Christmas is. It was, based on that song. And I tried really hard to be like, hey, Jake. Can we riff this song? Is that possible? And I don't know if it is yet.
I do hope to see it. I do hope to see it this coming Christmas. I think all of us would. Right, chat?
That would be great.
Yeah. But now that we have the B of it, we can be Beyonce or Pause Out Boy, the emos deserve lore. Thank you. I've seen him live. I've seen Fall Out Boy live too, and a bunch of other emo stuff. I have. You ever listen to that nice emo music back in the year 2003? You ever used to just crank back in your room, start cranking My Chemical Romance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was my jam back then. Much
then,
like, yeah, back then. Not so much anymore. I would say my tastes have evolved. I listen to something that is either the extreme opposite of it now, or something that is a little bit heavier. There's no in between quite like it anymore.
Alright, yeah, I see where it come from. Yeah, I'm basically the opposite. Your boy, emo kid, skater, person. Yeah. But here we go, we're gonna get another question here. When are we adding the spy from Team Fortress 2 into SAR? No balance changes, just the spy.
You have to ask Valve on that one.
Can I ask the concept of how would spy work in SAR? Would it just be the exact same spy model, or would you convert it down to an animal?
I like to imagine it's just the model. Somehow make the 3D model work on a 2D plane. Have fun.
I'd very much like for that to be it too. I think we need some concepts, chat. Literally the spy running around. What? Just have spy come out of random corners or something? Obviously. Oh yeah, even better idea. Spy with a super animal mask.
There you go.
Very, very much needed, I think. And hey, there is a super animal mask in the game. You actually probably could create spy. Huh.
That's true. We do have the Howl mask.
Yeah. Cool. So you can't. Smart. Wait, you can't be in 2D because he's never. Okay, well, Boogie. Now you have that, I guess. I don't know what that is necessarily, but you have it. Congrats. Cool.
Congratulations.
You won something, but we are nearing the end of the episode here. Got about five more minutes left. So if you guys have any questions, you probably want to get them in now. But I'll go back to the list. for this next one. How'd you get the new name? FunkleLogan. Instead of going by Steam like you used to.
So, for a very long time, I went by Steam after I joined the SAR community, and I realized the steampunk gnome was kind of like, it's a little long and cumbersome. So I just shortened it to Steam. And the way the letters got involved is because Valve actually actively censors any name that uses Steam in it. So it'd just be like ST, like, and then 3 asterisks. So I was like, oh, I'm going to use 34M to get around that. And then that just kind of took off as my own thing for a little bit. But, as time went on, it's like horrible for search engine optimization as well as branding to have your name like be associated with something that's already like huge. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to try to make it my own thing. And I didn't know what to do for a very long time. And then during the Pettember event, I was in Filth the Mutt stream.
Yeah.
And she was doing her fundraiser for it. And at one point, we were like just looking at weird things, and there was a like Japanese snack called a crunkle. And she's like, hey, how much would it take for you to change your name? And I said, you know what? If you donate $120 to We Don't Whispers chip fund, I'll go ahead and do it. And I think I got Whisper or someone else, or I matched it too. So I basically cashed out my name to be FunkleLogan for a tiny bit. But then, that begged the question of what a kunkle was, and, don't Urban Dictionary that. We didn't look it up. So...
yeah, that sounds questionable, to say the least.
It is more questionable than you can think. There's 11 definitions, and only, like, one of them are, like, okay. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to change it, and I'm just going to make it an F. So that way I still have that, like, fun little memory of, like, cashing out my name and my brand for charity. And it was a huge celebration since that was actually what pushed us over the successfully funded part of our charity. That's how we hit our first goal, was in that night.
What was that, 30,000, right?
Yes. Yeah. And we also got Whisper to eat the hot chip. So it's just a really good, a wholesome moment that I love. And, I want to keep it close, but I didn't, of course, want people to go, hey, what's a kunkle?
I didn't want to redirect the fans to something that you probably shouldn't be looking at.
Oh, yeah, because then people will be like, why do you have this name? And I'll be like, I don't know,
yeah,
just because.
What's this? Yeah. So now we got another thing from Boogie. Read the maids. Thank you, Boogie. I mean, you should.
Read the maids.
It's good. Right? It's in my Discord server. I'll send you that after this. It's the whole thing. Really big.
The Logan Motive. That's what I should have changed my name to. Logan Motive.
I mean...
just to be all about trains from here on out. I don't even like trains, but I would roll with that.
All right. I mean, you didn't like steampunk or gnomes, and...
It's true, exactly. It's very fitting.
Yeah, so... It's not exactly off-putting to your brand, so...
Correction, I do love gnomes now, but back then I was kind of like, there's cooler things.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why, For example, skate. But then again, I'm saying that as a California resident, so, maybe a slight bias. But...
yeah.
Come visit. Maybe smile. Yeah. But looks like we've got... yeah. We've got one more question, then after this... we will choose someone of your choosing to raid. So, let's get the last question here. That would be a big one. Even though, actually, you already answered that one. I was going to ask, though, what's it like being a community manager for Pixel Games? But you've answered that a lot. Oh, that's a great question to end off on. Do you want to be my friend? Smile. Well, not smile, but yeah.
If you can afford me.
If you can afford me.
Yeah. My friendship rates are pretty high.
I got a spare skateboard, MXPX stickers, and a thing of wax. How's that do?
There's nothing Taco Bell involved, so no.
Okay, fine. Logan, bro, can we get a bro to end off? This is important to the AlkalineMix stream.
Is it already like? Is it being modified by like you, or is it
It's
like?
being
Do
modified by you saying it. Because I usually do the
oh
bruhs. So we just need to load it now.
oh, bruh.
There we go. I have fingerless gloves on. My claps are not hitting the same at all. Oh, that connected bad part of my bone. Yeah. So it looks like our hour is up. If you guys have any last questions, probably should say it now. But we're now going to ask tradition here on the AlkalineMix channel with the Alkcast. After this question, what are you expecting in the future of SAR and Pixile? Funny thing is, I actually had that lined up as a question before too. Nice.
Oh, that's a really good one. And it's a good one to end on too. Just continuing to push what's achievable, right? If you look at our fun update history of these past 3 years, you can see that our scope has gotten bigger and better each time. So, hoping for more of everything, right? More weapons, more locations, more super animals, more features that people wouldn't expect.
More drip, you know.
All sorts of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The world is our super oyster.
Exactly. Now, with that in mind, we're going to now be rating a person of your choosing. So, whoever you'd like to raid, we'll raid them. Right here, right now.
Let's see. Who is streaming SAR?
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
I was gonna say I'm streaming, but you know.
let's see. How about Ash?
That's perfect. Yeah. Just send me the link and I will get it started.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Yeah, I've read them a few times. Perfect. I will get started up right now. But yes, thank you all for joining us tonight on for another episode of the Outcast. Next stream mine will be tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as standard. And yeah, Logan, thank you very much for coming out here, taking the time of your day. I greatly do appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hopefully I can see you around again. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming out, for all the great questions. Hopefully we all had a good time here. This episode will be up on YouTube to watch very shortly. And yeah, we are going to be leaving now. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys all later. Good night and goodbye.
Have a good night. Bye.